Happy Homebrew Wednesday. It's actually on a Thursday today because it was very busy yesterday and I didn't get a chance to do this video. This is the New Zealand Pilsner, the Southeast, or South by Southeast Pilsner that Gary and I collaborated on, main brew guy, Gary in Florida. I'm looking forward to getting him this sample. Not this particular sample, I'm going to guzzle this one. It's a damn good beer. But I'm looking forward to giving this to him when we do our malt experiment trade. I've already gotten the first box in from Dennis, so it's funny. I've actually I've repurposed the ferment chamber temporarily while these boxes come in. So the early ones that come in aren't just sitting around in the house. I mean, it's a nice 70 degrees in the house, so I'm sure it'll be fine. But what I did was I set the ferment chamber to about 50. I think I have it set to 50 right now, 55. This way the beers can stay, a little bit chilled until we're ready to fully package them and send them off. But yeah, just to help them out a little bit, especially the ones that are, again, coming in early, because I'm not going to be sending out until probably mid next week once everything finally comes in. But look at this. Look how clear this got. I mean, it was clear pretty early on, but it is just crystal clear right now. Look at that. You can see right through. See my panel there? I think you can. It's a really gorgeous looking beer. And I think we owe this to the torrefied wheat, Gary, right? I think we talked about this, how the torrefied wheat really cleared out the beer quickly. I didn't have to do a lot with this to get it like this. And it is just a phenomenal beer. The keg's probably got about a third left in it, so I haven't been drinking on it too heavily, but I definitely have some to share around. So let's give it a try. Cheers. Yeah, it's a very crisp, very clean smelling beer. You don't get a lot of that lime, at least I don't in the nose. But it doesn't have a lot of aromatic to it at this point. It did early on. I think I did smell a little bit of that lime early on. But it smells like a really inviting, crisp summer beer. So let's see what we got. Yeah, you still get that hint of lime in this. I would agree with Gary. I think it's like you either want to skip the lime or very little bit. I don't remember exactly how much I put into this recipe, but it was very little. I remember after him telling me that he put a full lime zest in there. I think he said he did a full lime, maybe 3/4. I went even less than that. I think I did a half, maybe even less than that. I didn't do much, and it's still sticking around. But this is just a really nice, clean, crisp, refreshing beer. Perfect for the summer. And it's been hot around here. It's 90 plus for weeks. But yeah, just a pro tip for everybody. Anybody that wants to use lime zest, go easy on it. You can definitely overpower the beer pretty quickly. So not a whole lot of updates this week. I actually meant to brew today. It didn't happen. Because we're now, what is it? It's like 8 o'clock. It's almost 9 o'clock now, actually. I finally got a chance to put together a video I've been wanting to. The malt experiment is in full swing. Everybody has been sending their beers. I think most of the folks that are in this have already sent or will be sending very soon. I started getting a bunch of reminders about when things are going to come into my doorstep. First being today. I think I have a couple coming tomorrow. And then as we go through the weeks, my beer, I mean, because of this panel and because of life, I didn't have a chance to really brew it until it was, 20th of July. Fortunately, it's a smash beer, not a whole lot to it, not a high alcohol beer, so a really easy beer to turn around quickly. It's practically done. I pulled a sample earlier today. I put a picture of it up on the Discord if anybody wants to check that out. Definitely a little bit darker than some of the other ones that are being submitted because it's a Munich Light, so the SRM of that grain is 6.6 according to the packaging. I'm not going to go into reviewing the beer, but I did a sample and it's an interesting one. It's going to be cool to see what all these malts bring to the table. And I mean, it's nice because a lot of the malts that are in this, I have not brewed with, and definitely haven't brewed with mine extensively. I've only just gotten it during the group buy back in, end of November. So I've been hanging on this malt. I'm actually almost out of it. But I split a sack with somebody, so it wasn't a full sack of it. I think I had 24, 25 pounds of it. And I've been using it here and there in beers just to kind of go through it and use it in place of what I would normally use Munich for. And I've had good results for it with it. So this is the first time I've ever tried to do a smash beer with it. So now I can really see what it brings to the table. But yeah, it's coming along nicely, and I've lucked out that was, it's fully carb now. I put it on the gas, 30 psi. I think I did that for about a day and a half. And it's pretty much good to go. So I just have it at serving pressure now until I'm ready to bottle it. I'll probably bottle it after the work weekend. I work weekends, so probably Monday I'll bottle it, and then yeah, it'll be good to go when everything comes in. The other thing I wanted to talk about, the beer I was going to brew. I was actually going to brew my version, or just I wanted to kind of try different hops in the Dropkick Nate. I've brewed Dropkick Nate a couple of times. It's a really, really nice pale ale. Nate Pico was kind enough to share me that recipe years ago, and I brew it every so often, probably every couple of years I brew it at least once. So I've probably brewed it a good half a dozen times now. Great beer. I've tried it with different water profiles, and I've brewed it when I first moved down here into South Carolina, and I really liked it with the better water that's down here. And so this time I think I'm gonna change up the hops. I have a ton of hops in the freezer that I want to get through and use. I don't actually have the hops that are typically used in his recipe, so I'm changing them up slightly. And the other thing I noticed too is that, so you can ask him if he wants to share the recipe, but basically it's Pilsner malt and Munich, and I don't have just straight Munich. I have the Swain Munich Light, which is a little bit different. I think Munich, normally the SRM of that is at least 7. This is only 6.6, so it does give it a little bit lighter of a color. And one thing I noticed is Dropkick Nate, I think it's supposed to be somewhere around the 5-ish range. This was a lot lighter than that. It was like barely pushing 4 with the Swain Munich Light, according to Beersmith. So I'm going to, just to give it a little bit more color, I'm going to put just a couple of ounces of Crystal 80 in there because I happen to have that around as well. I'm just trying to use things I already have in the pantry at this point. So everything else I'm keeping the same except for the hops, using the same yeast. I'm going to try to mix Galaxy, Simcoe, and Victoria's Secret because I have them. So, and I've been wanting, Vic Secret's one I've been wanting to try, and I've never used it. And I looked at some of the characteristics of these various hops, and I think they'll meld pretty well together. And then, of course, the water profile, I'm gonna keep it roughly the same. I generally do like a 3-to-1 on this recipe, sulfate to chloride, just to kind of really accentuate the hops that are in there. It worked really nicely the last time, so I'm probably going to go with like a calcium number of about 70, 75. And as far as the sulfate to chloride, I'm probably going to do like a 150 to 50. It's usually what I do with those. And it's worked out really nice for me in the past. Oh, my little CO2 tank actually finally kicked. It's a little guy. It's a 2.5 pound tank. It's a really cool little tank to use for for transferring beer bottling. I mean, that's pretty much all I've been using it for. I've had this for I don't know, 6 months maybe more. I don't remember exactly when I got it, but it served its purpose. I mean, I wouldn't probably sit and try to carbonate on it because you'll burn through it fairly quick, I would imagine. But it transferred many beers with it. I've bottled many beers with it, and it's served its purpose. I'll have to get that refilled. I don't think there's anywhere around here that fills them. The homebrew shop will just swap them, and that works just well for me. I think this thing is only like $10 to get refilled versus the normal 5 pound, which is closer to 20. I think it's like $15-16 or something. But yeah, I'll probably get that filled again. Fortunately, I keep spares around these days because I've had it happen one too many times where my tank has run out and I've gone to pull a beer and it's been a problem. So I certainly keep extras around. I actually have an extra 5 pound tank over there, and that's what I used when I was moving the Malt Experiment beer around because this one had kicked the other day. But hey, it's another little tip for you guys. Anybody that's messing around with kegging and moving things with CO2, it's probably a good idea to have a spare around. You just never know. And man, I mean, it's great when they go out when it's convenient, but more times than not, they run out before you, or when you're not expecting it to, and that's what sucks. It'll go out on you. I've had that happen when I was brewing in propane. When I was brewing with propane, You know, after the first time it happened, I went out and bought a separate tank because it sucks when you're like mid-boil and you run out of propane. Yeah, not fun. So, but anyway, guys, that's really all I have for you this week. Looking forward to these beers coming in and trying them out. I'll probably put together a video series on just the reviews of the malt experiment. I encourage anyone else that's in this experiment for BrewTubers to do the same thing. It's a lot of fun seeing what everybody thinks of all these different beers, and it's just, you know, cool to you know, just to see what everybody's doing in their neck of the woods. So, well, until next time, guys, have a happy Homebrew Wednesday, or in this case, Thursday, and I'll talk to you next time. Cheers.